All right, here we go. Meeting called to order. Scott, call the roll.
Mayor Manning.
Present.
Councilman Petroselli.
Present.
Councilman Grady.
Present.
Would the clerk please read the minutes from our last meeting?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I second that.
Accepting them as is. Call the roll.
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor.
Councilman Grady.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor. Before we go to reports from officers and committees, we have a presentation for Citizen of the Month. This might be the first time that we've done it without actually notifying the person, so it's going to be...
Surprise.
Make sure the camera's rolling here.
Yep.
Scott, you want to read it?
So the September 2019 Citizen of the Month is Mr. Paul Huban.
All right, Scott, your 2 minutes starts now.
Paul is a pillar of the Watervliet community. He's never afraid to speak his mind when something isn't quite right, and always the first to smile and say hello when seen out and about. He has helped the city in many ways and many Watervliet organizations, including but not limited to Watervliet Housing Authority, Kids Count, and the Watervliet City School District. Congratulations, Mr. Huban.
Just in time for cold weather.
I am honored.
You don't even have to wait. You don't even have 2 minutes. You got.
That's all you have to say.
Got it.
No tears.
Wow. Yeah, this is, when this came across, I was really surprised. Someone would nominate me.
I'm surprised myself. I'm shocked. I thought I was at the bottom of the poll. I do have a friend, huh?
Must be your lucky day, yeah.
Well, thank you,
Well, for
Mayor.
sure, you're one of the most involved citizens, and you deserve this, so
Thank you.
welcome to the club.
Thank you.
You want to say anything?
Well, yeah, I just want to thank you.
I was kidding, I was kidding.
I have a lot of things to say at the 2 minutes.
Oh, let me hold on to this until after the 2
Go
minutes.
ahead, Paul. You're funny, Mayor.
There you go.
Okay.
Congratulations, kiddo.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If there's anyone who came just to see that, feel free to.
Just for this, yeah. Bye, everybody.
Thanks
Have a good night.
Thank you.
These things are working really well tonight. Boards from officers and committees, yes?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick announcements. As is my duty to report at the council meeting of hirings, recent hires to the city of Watervliet. First, at a swearing in last Friday, and currently in the fire academy is Patrick Ebenhoff, the newest member of the fire department. Tomorrow, Friday at 3 p.m. at the court, we will have the swearing in of our newest police officer. This is a lateral coming in from Albany. CJ Apple will be joining the police department. And in October, there will be a new secretary to the general manager, replacing Phyllis Carroll in that specific role, and that is Stacy Claremont. So there's 3 hires that have taken place in the city of Watervliet since the last time we've met. So those are my duty to announce at the meeting.
And probably, since it's his first time attending council meeting, our new police chief, Anthony Josky. Based on the rounds he's making, you probably already met him already. But anyway, glad to have him on board as well.
Mayor? And the last thing that I wanted to mention was previously the city had applied for several grants, one of which was a food scraps grant, which was an expansion of the WOW program and the anaerobic digester. It's a $175,000 production that we turned in for, and we were turned down for the grant when it was announced. We were recently just informed in an email, congratulatory email, that they have reassessed our application and we did receive the grant. So we've recently received a grant for what is called food scraps. And again, this is what this is going to do is allow for us to hire an employee at no cost to the taxpayers to be able to help in the sanitation department, specifically with the WOW program, the anaerobic digester, the collection of the materials. It allows us to get a specific vehicle to pick up the food scraps, some consulting costs to be able to put together some education and outreach documentation, and then some equipment used to pick up and to store the food scraps. So even when we seem as though we failed to get a grant, we're still able to turn things around and produce it. So this is one grant that we turned down for and that we received. So we continue our very high percentage of receiving grants. So this is excellent news that was certainly unexpected. And so I wanted to announce that. Stay tuned as we start to work that out and see. So we will receive $131,000 out of the $175,000 total cost for that. We do have some other funds available in the hopper, if you will, for the anaerobic digester that will account for our share. So it'll be at no cost to the taxpayer. And again, an employee to help with all the tasks that are needed without any cost to the taxpayers, that's always a huge benefit to us. So adding another person in, figure out how that works and what that person's title will be. It could be the food scrap collector, which I don't think civil service will allow us to call it that. But because we have a lot coming up, that is all that I have. At the next meeting, during reports of officers and committees, I will give a brief look at what the budget may look like as we move forward in the budget process. So that'll be a preliminary budget presentation. It won't be a specific presentation. We'll really be looking at a status quo budget with the increases that are outside of our control, just to give an idea as to where we're at there. So that will be at the next council meeting. That is all that I have for this evening, Mayor.
Okay, old business?
In old business, we have ordinance number 2011, and this is the second reading of the ordinance. An ordinance of the City of Watervliet providing that Chapter 260, Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the City of Watervliet be amended.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this ordinance.
I second that.
Discussion?
So as Scott said, this is the second reading of this ordinance, and this is to place signage for parking restrictions in certain areas on 19th Street.
Any further discussion? Call it again?
Call roll. Councilman Petroselli.
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
Opposed?
Passes 2. And Mr. Mayor, that's all we have in old business.
New business?
New business, we have ordinance number 2012, an ordinance of the City of Watervliet providing that the Code of the City of Watervliet, Chapter 260, Vehicle and Traffic, Article 4, Handicap Parking, Section 260-30B1, Access Points be amended.
I'd like to make a motion to accept ordinance number 2012 as written.
Mayor, I'll second it.
Discussion?
This is a handicap access points. It's been distributed to the council and recommended by Chief Gerasi.
Any discussion? Call the roll, Scott?
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor?
Next, we have resolution number 9643. The Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves and authorizes Mayor Michael P. Manning to execute the statement of intent for 2020 annual membership and fees that the City of Watervliet intends to renew its Stormwater Coalition membership for the year 2020 and will contribute to the coalition their portion of membership dues in the amount of $18,596.
Mayor, I'll make a motion we approve this resolution.
I second that.
Discussion?
So this is the annual Stormwater Coalition Agreement. We did speak about this in the budget workshop. This also adds needed assistance on some services that would have had to be done by a part-time staff, but instead we're able to get it through the coalition at a much lesser cost. So annual agreement with the coalition.
Questions, comments? Call the roll?
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor?
Next, we have resolution number 9644. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby determines that the proposed maintenance and replacement of infrastructure in the Watervliet sewer system is a Type 2 action, and that no further action is required, and seeker is hereby concluded for this project.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution number 9644 as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
So this is, we've dealt with this project in the past. We've had seeker resolution. This is a new seeker resolution for the same project. This is to eliminate the combined sewer outfalls in the city of Watervliet. And based on the project's scope, it is considered a Type 2 action through seeker, so therefore there is no further action required at this time.
Any questions? All right, call the roll.
Councilman Patricelli.
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor.
Next, we have resolution number 9645. The Council of the City of Watervliet hereby authorizes Mayor Michael P. Manning to file an application with the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation for a New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act grant, and further authorizes Mayor Manning to accept and receive a grant for sewage treatment works project.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this resolution as written.
I second.
Questions, comments, discussion?
So same grant that we've applied for in the past. We have applied for other grant sources for this as well. This is a roughly $5 million project to eliminate the CSOs in the city of Watervliet. We have applied for a water quality improvement program grant. This is a secondary grant that will help to defer more of the cost for that, leaving us with about $1.5 million for this $5 million project that would be taxpayer dollars. So everything at this point is now in order to be able to apply for this grant. This is the final piece so that we can submit the application.
Good.
Call the roll, Scott.
Councilman Patricelli.
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor.
Next, we have resolution number 9646. The Council of the City of Watervliet hereby determines that the proposed maintenance and replacement of infrastructure in the Watervliet drinking water system is a Type 2 action, and that no further action is required, and seeker is hereby concluded for this project.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 9646 as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
So this is seeker resolution, again, state environmental quality review of a proposed project for upgrades at the filter plant. This project has been put together based on a study that was done in 2017 on our water system. This is the upgrades at the filter plant. Based on the scope of this work, it is considered a Type 2 action, and therefore no further action is required under seeker.
Questions, comments? Call the roll, Scott.
Councilman Patricelli.
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor.
Next, we have resolution number 9647. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby authorizes Mayor Michael P. Manning to file an application with the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation for a New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act grant, and further authorizes Mayor Michael Manning to accept and receive a grant for the Watervliet filter plant drinking water improvement project.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this resolution as read.
I second.
Discussion?
And so WIIA, known as WIA, has two different types of grants that they do through the Environmental Facilities Corporation. One is for clean water, which is sewer. The other is drinking water. We had previously received a drinking water grant through this, through the EFC. That's the one that has just been completed. And this is for operations and maintenance to be done at the filter plant. You receive 60% of the cost of the project, up to $3 million. So this is basically an application for $3 million worth of work to be done at the filter plant. So this is the second of three resolutions on the agenda tonight to be able to apply for this. The application is ready to go. These three pieces of legislation will allow us to submit an application for this grant.
What's the timeline here?
So we would submit the grant, it's due next Friday, we'll probably submit it Monday or Tuesday. Usually don't hear, and these are not true timelines, but usually don't hear until about December on these, yeah. If not later, it'll It all depends on how quickly EFC reviews them and moves on them. This product is on the IUP, which is the intended use plan through EFC. So it does score higher as far as the application for it goes. It does have a full EFC approved study done on it as well. From that point on, it is a lot of pre-work going into it, and this is based on a previous EFC grant. Probably another 6 to 8 months before you can really start to put anything together. Then at that point it would be engineering and so on. At the next meeting, I hope to be able to do a report on the filter plant and present a capital plan for the filter plant, a 5-year capital plan, also a 5-year financing plan that would go along with that. And some of that would rely on grant funding. So with all that said, year 1 would likely not be covered by grant, but it still allows us to use, if we were to receive the grant, the $3 million for the later phases of the final 4 years. So it doesn't get to us when we need it, but if it does come, it certainly defers the cost to fixing up the filter plant.
Good. Call the roll, Scott.
Councilman Petroselli?
In favor.
Councilman McGratty?
In favor.
Mayor Manning?
In favor?
Next, we have resolution number 9648. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves, ratifies, and confirms the execution by Watervliet Police Chief Anthony W. Gerasi of the Memorandum of Understanding for the use and receipt of technology equipment between the Albany County Sheriff's Office and the Watervliet Police Department.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 9648 as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
So this is put together by Chief Gerasi. So Chief, if you want to talk about it a little bit.
Sure. So the Albany County Sheriff's Office is going to be a great partner in my early tenure, and we were in need of at least 2 desktops and 1 laptop. So instead of going out and purchasing it with city funds, I made a request to the sheriff, and he obliged, and we now are in possession of 2 desktop computers and a laptop computer at no cost to the city of Watervliet. No strings attached.
Any questions for Chief? Well, then let's back him up. Call the roll.
Councilman Petroselli?
In favor.
Councilman McGratty?
In favor.
Mayor Manning?
In favor?
Next, we have resolution number 9649. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves a memorandum of understanding between the Watervliet Police Department and the Watervliet City School District regarding the Watervliet Police Department Handle with Care program.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we accept this resolution.
I second that.
Discussion?
So we call this the Chief Gerasi portion of the agenda for tonight. So again, something that was negotiated by Chief Gerasi and the school district. Chief?
Yeah, so Handle with Care program, it's a trauma-informed practice. It's really to mitigate issues associated with children exposed to trauma and violence, and really deal with mental, emotional, and behavioral issues, especially in the school setting. So if a child's exposed to trauma, and you can fill in the blank, it could be domestic violence, it could be an actual act of violence, a stabbing, or something worse. What we do simply is notify the school. We provide the name and date of birth of the child with the title of the email, Handle with Care. So they're not given any privileged information. It's just simply letting them know that the child was exposed to trauma, not further defined, and then the school officials will get that information and handle that child with care. So if there's behavioral issues through the day, they don't handle it in a disciplinary matter. They know that there was issues, and if they need mental health services, they'll receive those services. So speaking with Dr. Kaplan, she's excited about this opportunity, and I appreciate support from the council, the mayor, and the GM's office. This is a step in the right direction, especially with recent memory of our relationship with the school. I'm excited to start the school year with this resolution.
I believe Albany has this, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And
How many-
San Antonio, Texas just announced, last week, they also entered a contract with the school. So it's gaining attention nationwide.
What grades is this?
Every grade.
Every grade, all the way to high school, too?
Good. Scott?
Councilman Petroselli?
In favor.
Councilman McGratty?
In favor.
Mayor Manning?
In favor?
Next, we have resolution number 9650. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves a state and local task force agreement between the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Albany District Office, and the Watervliet Police Department.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 9650 as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Drossy.
I didn't know this was part of the deal. But no issues. I'm happy to report. So, all good news. So we do have a member of the department who's a full-time, essentially with an asterisk, full-time task officer. I say full-time because they're based at Latham. So it's no more than 3 miles up the street. It's not like we're losing a department member. If he needs to come back and investigate a case, we have that ability to recall that person. So it's not like we're paying full salary for someone not to be here. But he is a deputized full-time task force officer. With that becomes a tremendous amount of resources, literally worldwide reach that we get from the Department of Justice. So we really benefit from it. Our community benefits from it. This resolution is specifically entering an agreement that the DEA will pay us $18,000 and reimburse overtime costs. So we just recouped in the last quarter funds in that amount. So this is moving forward for the next year, especially with me taking over this position. They wanted to have a current MOU, and so that's the resolution. That they're going to pay us, among other things, $18,000 in reimbursement. And then we also get 80% of forfeitures. So some are very large forfeitures, some are smaller. But the Department of Justice, they only take 20%. And then 80% is divided up between task force officers. So it could be divided up between Watervliet, the city of Rensselaer, the city of Albany, where there's task force officers. But this resolution specifically just says that they'll pay us 25% of a grade 12, which is $18,000.
Is this only one officer?
We have one officer deputized with the DEA. We have another officer deputized with the FBI.
So Chief, it's $18,000 of this salary.
Not salary, it's reimbursed overtime.
So $18,000 of the reimbursed overtime.
Correct.
So what does that eventually cost us?
In overtime or salary?
Well, it's $18,000 flat, correct?
Yes.
And then plus 80% of the overtime?
So any forfeiture seized?
Oh, that's the forfeiture, 80%.
Forfeitures, yeah, but it's not that, the math isn't that simple. The split is 80-20. So 80% goes to local jurisdictions that are members of the task force.
Correct.
And then 20% doesn't even go to the DEA, it goes to the Department of Justice. So forfeitures could be $9,000, like currently there's a $9,000 forfeiture outstanding. There could be a forfeiture in the amount of $250,000. So it's hard to say what it costs us.
It's the $18,000 specific to the deputized officers overtime.
Yes, guaranteed $18,000.
So if his activities with them causes overtime, they'll reimburse $18,000
So if his activities causes overtime
for him.
for him,
Yes.
for him. But during the course of a day, we lose a man anyway?
No, I wouldn't say, no, that detective sergeant is here a majority of the day. And if he needs to respond to Latham, to work on a case, he's there the time that is needed, and he's back here. Which it's nice. We're very fortunate to be in close proximity.
Right.
There's another task force officer that comes from Woodstock, and that department, that city, that jurisdiction loses that officer. So we're really in a unique position, being such close proximity to the DEA headquarters in Latham. So there hasn't been an instance in the month I've been here where I've needed that person and they haven't been here within literally 10 minutes.
And sometimes the case could be right here in Watervliet.
Oh, absolutely. Cases are initiated in Watervliet.
And we get a certain percentage of that.
So 80% is divided up between the local task force officers. But what benefits us is even if it isn't initiated in Watervliet, we still get a portion of that forfeiture.
You brought in how much, would you say, in the last 5 years?
I'd have to get that number from you. I don't know.
Yeah, we'd have to take a look and see what's come in over the last 5 years.
Yeah, I was under the impression it wasn't very much.
Over the last 5 years, it has been. Recently, it has not, because they were not able to work as much with the DEA, because they had other assignments. local assignments. So it wasn't as much over the last 2 years probably, but going back 5 years.
Probably millions, right?
Back even further, yes.
Yes.
Well, years ago, yes.
Years ago.
Well, I'm saying within the last 5 years, I think they redid the entire police department with that money.
They did.
Yeah, and they bought several cars, vehicles with that money. So in the past, it's worked out very well.
Yes.
One of the other things to Councilman Patricelli's point is, a lot of times that, we keep the chief keeps a tab on how much time is used in those types of operations. So how much overtime is utilized by this person in that, as well as other investigations and so on. So if there is monies that came in from seizure and there's overtime that was expensed above and beyond that 18,000, that can then be reimbursed from that seizure as well. So any other overtime, if it goes above and beyond that for any specific reason, usually we are going to receive some forfeiture from that, and then that can be used to cover costs as well.
Okay.
Good discussion. Scott?
Councilman Patricelli?
In favor?
Councilman McGratty?
In favor.
Mayor Manning?
In favor.
Next, we have resolution number 9651. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby authorizes and directs Scott P. O'Reilly, City Clerk to the Council, to advertise in the official newspaper of the city that a public hearing will be held in the J. Leo O'Brien Senior Citizen Center in Watervliet, New York, on Thursday, September 26th at 7 p.m. for the purpose of hearing those persons who wish to be heard regarding proposed local law number 4 for the year 2019. The local law to override the tax levy limit established by general municipal law for the year 2020, City of Watervliet budget.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this resolution as read.
I second that.
Discussion?
Yeah, so this is an annual resolution to publish for a public hearing on proposed local law to exceed the tax cap. Most, if not all, municipalities do pass this. It's a placeholder in case you have to exceed the tax cap. We've done this over the last 4 years. For the last 2 years, we have had to exceed it. So puts it in place in case there's a need to have to exceed it. And this is just the publication that at the next meeting, there will be a public hearing to discuss this. At the next meeting, prior to the public hearing, I will be presenting a preliminary budget, preliminary look, so that we'll know a little bit more about what the numbers look like. So we'll have some discussion prior to the public hearing on this.
Okay.
Yes, and this local law has been distributed to the council for review and can be available, if you'd like, at the city clerk's office for your review as well.
Question? Question? Scott, call roll.
Councilman Patricelli?
In favor?
Councilman McGratty?
In favor.
Mayor Manning?
In favor.
Next, we have resolution number 9652. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves an agreement between the County of Albany and the City of Watervliet Police Department regarding the Stop DWI program.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 9652 as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
So we probably should have moved this ahead of the last one, just to stick with the Chief Jurowski, but I'll try and save it from this one. This is an annual agreement that we have with Albany County. This is putting it on paper specifically and having it approved by the council, the Stop DWI program. And again, similar to what it is with the DEA, we are reimbursed for the officer's time in doing this work. So, Chief, if you want to add anything else to it,
It's just in the amount of about $9,000.
Good? Good. Scott?
Councilman Petroselli?
In favor?
Councilman McGratty?
In favor.
Mayor Manning?
In favor.
Next, we have resolution number 9653. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves an agreement between the City of Watervliet and Richard Comey, DBA, the Center for Municipal Solutions, with an address of 70 Cambridge Drive in Glenmont, New York, for professional consulting services regarding T-Mobile Northeast LLC's proposed modifications to its existing telecommunications facility located at 1545 Broadway.
Mayor, I'll make a motion we approve this resolution.
I second it.
Discussion?
So 1545 Broadway is right, that building right over there, if everybody turns around and wants to take a look, you can see through the wall. T-Mobile Northeast LLC has equipment that's on the rooftop. So it's considered a wireless telecommunications facility, and they had previously have approval to put the equipment on the rooftop. However, they have contacted our building department and notified them that they propose to make modifications to their rooftop wireless telecommunications facility at that location. So it's incumbent upon the city to have a consultant to assist us in the review of any and all materials to be submitted with respect to what they are trying to accomplish and the modifications that they're trying to make, such as safety, emissions, aesthetics, things of that nature. So we've utilized the services of Mr. Comey in the past. This is an agreement to utilize the services of Richard Comey, doing business as the Center for Municipal Solutions. He's a wireless telecommunications consultant. And T-Mobile Northeast LLC, through their attorney, has issued the city of Watervliet an escrow check in the amount of $5,000. So if this is approved and we engage the services of Mr. Comey, his fees will be paid through the escrow check, essentially paid by the applicant for the review of the project. And I think it's necessary for the city to have a consultant to assist in the review. Thank you.
Good? Good. Scott?
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor?
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor?
Next, we have resolution number 9654. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves the Empire Trail Work Agreement between the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, the New York State Department of Transportation, and the City of Watervliet.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 9654 as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
So this is an agreement basically between the City Department of Transportation and State's Office of Parks and Recreation. It's for signage placement at 25th Street and Broadway, which is now the terminus of the Mohawk Hudson Bike Hike Trail, or that's not what it's called anymore, it's the Empire State Trail, as it runs from New York City to Canada. That now terminates at 25th Street and Broadway as it goes into Green Island. So this is to place signage in that area, paid for by DOT and Parks and Recreation, by the state to be placed there, and to be maintained by the City of Watervliet, like most DOT signs in the city.
Good. Good. Scott?
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor?
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor?
Next, we have resolution number 9655. Council of the City of Watervliet hereby authorizes and directs Scott P. O'Reilly, City Clerk to the Council, to advertise once in the official newspaper of the city that a notice to bidders for the Watervliet Bike Path Connection Project.
Yep, Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this resolution as read.
I second.
Discussion?
So this is the long-awaited bike path project. This places the project out to bid on the 16th of September. DOT is scheduled to authorize us to go out to bid on the 13th, so we'll be able to put it out to bid on the 16th and receive bids on the 7th of October. By receiving them on the 7th of October, it will allow us to be able to place on the agenda at the October 17th meeting to be approved by the council and be able to work towards beginning that project. It will all be at the discretion of the contractor as to what can be done, and if the entire work can be done in 2019. The expectation is that the work will probably have to carry over until 2020, which was not expected originally, but still allows us to have the $1.3 million funding from DOT to be able to complete the project.
Sound good? Good. Scott, call the roll.
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor?
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor?
Mr. Mayor, to the best of my knowledge, that's all we have in new business.
Okay. Let's go to the A&A section.
In Appropriations and Accounting, we have resolution number 9656, a bond resolution of the City of Watervliet authorizing not to exceed $5 million aggregate principal amount of serial general obligation bonds to finance the cost of reconstruction of and improvements to the Watervliet filter plant.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 9656 as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
And so this is the bond resolution that will allow us to apply for the filter plant grant. Without this bond resolution, we would not be able to apply for the grant that was approved previously. Just like our other grants that we've applied for through EFC, they do require this specific amount to be in there. That does not mean that that's what will be bonded. Similar with the EFC project that we have ongoing now, the expectation for the CSO separation and with the filter plant, it will need to be helped out with by grants. And so we won't be able to move forward with the total project if we don't receive grants unless the council so chooses. So prior to and keeping up with the project as we move forward, the council will be kept up on the finances of this project as we move forward. So you'll always know where it's at. But, the expectation is, unless it becomes a $8 to $9 million project over a 5, 6, 7 year period, it would not need all $5 million necessary for the grant application.
Gotcha. Scott, call roll.
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor.
Councilman Grady.
In favor.
Mayor Manning.
In favor.
Mr. Mansell, we have an appropriations and account.
Okay. Anything else before we move to public comment?
Yeah, I got, Jeremy, do you have any updates on the church?
I am to be receiving a final report on the church tomorrow, so I will have an update at that time. That report is to tell us if the church can be fixed up and saved, or if it needs to be torn down, and if it can be fixed up and saved, what is the process of being able to do so. There's a deadline tomorrow to be able to get to that report, so I'm told I will have it tomorrow morning.
Is the museum open?
Museum's open.
It is open. Bulk Week. There's been a lot of scattered talk about Bulk Week. What's going on?
Yes, I do not plan on having another bulk week in 2019. We do have the availability for bulk item pickup and disposal. Come to the clerk's office, $10 for drop off on the last Friday, $20 for pickup on the last Friday.
For seniors,
Seniors.
pick up for seniors, right?
It is for seniors, yes.
You're just saying that because you're a senior.
I drop it off. Some people think you can just call up and they're gonna go get it.
Is that
If
the,
you're not a senior,
Stop,
they won't.
stop down to the clerk's office. He's a nice guy.
You know, in McCannville, they all have a spot to drop it off in. I think it makes more sense, you know,
Fifth
drop it off.
Ave might work for that.
Well, no, it just makes more sense because you get so many people from out of town to drop stuff off in alleyways. It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
Well,
we're throwing so much money away.
well, that's good. I have yet to see a violation ticket for anybody caught dropping stuff off. I know that's the scuttlebutt. I know that's what's, that's being talked about, but I've never heard anybody said that they've actually been charged with dropping off anything or found
I'll tell you,
it.
I've seen them.
Well, then you let it go by not reporting them, but if that's the case, I'm in favor of having a bulk week. I don't think we can just drop it by having it. If that's the council's pleasure, then so be it, but I'm not in favor of eliminating the bulk week.
No, listen, Dr. Sully, if you have it down at the dome and tell everybody to bring it there, if everybody brought their metal and put it in a pile.
Not everybody has the availability to get rid of things because they don't have a truck or they don't have a vehicle that will carry some of the larger bulk items. I mean, something else could be put in the back of a car, maybe that's a possibility, but some of the larger bulk items I think is pretty hard for some, if not most people, unless they have availability of a pickup truck of some sort.
I agree with you, it just costs a lot of money.
We have had a bulk week this year, just to clarify.
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money.
I agree.
I go to
agree.
the dump all the time, it costs a lot of money.
I think we had.
More than
we had
$10 or $20?
How much?
More than $10 or $20, which is what the city charges? Much more, right?
Are you kidding me?
It's about the
I
city
mean, I go to the dump, the last time I went to the dump, $175.
for a truck.
Well, I had a trailer.
Well,
It goes by weight.
Yeah. So you could bring that
And
down to the garage
rate
for
keeps going up.
$10, so.
The rate keeps going up
Yeah.
over at the transfer station.
well, if it's for
Goes up
business or
front.
commercial, I can understand not having it put down to the city garage.
56.60 a ton right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
I know, I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
We dump there too.
Right, I see it.
And
I see
recycles
it.
are even more.
It's,
We could be making money off of it, though. If we had a place for metal, that you could drop off all the time, we could make money off of it. But we don't
Is the
have.
council's.
I do
council's,
expect that at the
idea
next-
not to have a bulk week.
Budget workshop to do that.
I thought we should eliminate bulk week a long time ago. It's a never-ending stream. It's not environmentally friendly, and it's not moving towards zero waste. It just over to San Francisco Airport is not allowing any waste to be brought in there anymore.
Well, let me just tell you what happened 6 months ago.
Yeah.
6 months ago, Utica shut down. And then there was a place out in, further out west that somebody died in. You couldn't dump stuff at the transfer station. There was no dumping available. If it happened another 2 weeks later, Colony was full, you couldn't dump over here. Where were you gonna go? I mean, it was almost scary, because I dump all the time. And I don't know if I don't know if you're aware of it, but you couldn't dump.
Yeah.
The only person they were allowed to dump was the city of Watervliet and the city of Troy. That was the only people that could dump. And this is starting to get full, so full that it's gonna go astronomical. And listen, I have property, I have a lot of stuff, I'd like to dump it. But I think there should be a spot that you bring the stuff to and you can dump it right there. If the people need help, you charge them to go pick it up. I understand what Mr. Patricelli is saying, but it just gets so out of control. There's no other towns doing it, and it's just coming to burden. I think to the taxpayer, it's starting to cost too much money.
There is the availability for it to be picked up, and if you'd like to have something picked up, although it does say seniors, I suggest that you go to the clerk's office and, you know, your bulk items can be picked up.
Well, if that is going to be the case, that anybody can be asked to pick that up, then that might be something a little bit easier to take. I mean, but that's not the way it's presented now.
If the council has an issue with no fall bulk week, then we can work on a policy that says that we can, you know, allow the pickups at the last Friday of the month to be for all residents that come in and pay the fee. I can put that policy together and have it on the next agenda.
I think everybody's looking forward to the fall. I think you should start at the first of the year, like Mr. Patricelli is saying. I mean, people are going to be disappointed by disappointed now. I mean, you start, you know.
They're disappointed?
Well, the first
Take
of the year.
great joy in throwing all that shit out?
Listen, I see a lot of people dumping that shouldn't be dumping, but I'm out in the street all the time. People don't see what I see.
No, I don't think it gets to violation, because I know at least 3 instances that I know of in the last one, where people were caught, told to remove it, or they would get a
I should tell you
violation.
one
And they
story.
removed it.
You got a country town, so brother.
Garbage
That's
man?
it.
Well, I'm in the street all the time. I'm different than most. I'm out in the city, you know, so I see what goes on. And I see landlords that own houses that just dump their stuff there. I don't agree with it. I don't do it. I bring all my stuff to the dump. I don't put stuff out for bulk week.
We understand that. That's okay. I mean, that
But
kind
the
of.
homeowners, I understand, and saying,
That's
okay,
what I'm
listen, we're
talking
used to it
about.
twice a year, and now we can't do it. So I understand that too, so, I don't know, I think maybe you should start at the first of the year, but, I think you should definitely have a spot that they can dump it in.
Something in the back.
I think we should increase our cost to not $10 to $20.
When you have people dumping, you have to regulate, get the people there to oversee. Once someone starts dumping, it'll be a mess.
Well, they dump in the back of the pickup, or the dump truck. Because I use it all the time. It's $10 is the best deal in
Well,
town,
it's a
to get rid of it,
it's a
truck loaded.
It's not mechanical, they let everybody dump it.
I'm not trying
People go
not
and pick
to,
it
I'm
all
not
up.
trying to hear a lot of
It's a
that.
council
Half the stuff at the end of the day is picked
Want
up
to
by
have a
people
public
that
forum
want.
and schedule it next Tuesday.
You know, the scavengers come and they, okay, we want this, we want that, we want the couch.
We gotta reel this in.
I'm sorry.
What, if the council allows, what we'll do is, we can discuss it and talk about it, maybe we can talk about Chris Doss and see how that would work. Before we come up with a plan, let's ask him what that would impact him and his staff, and then we can go from there.
As far as,
Well, picking up, if you picked up for anybody who wanted it, I mean, that might have something, he might say, oh my God, how can you do such a thing? But that might be something we can talk about.
sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'd be willing
It's
to
been
do that.
discussed, it's been discussed with them.
Okay, well, let's see what it is and we can go from there. Couple of things, the warning lights at the elementary school, they've been ordered?
Yep, they're ordered and on the way.
Okay, and what about the striping at the basketball court?
Same thing,
Is that
been
name,
ordered and being scheduled.
did that name help?
No, we already had, because we have striping to be done on the road, so they'll be doing the striping.
Oh, good.
on the
All
road
right.
as well.
That's it.
All right, Scott, open up.
Don't worry about me. I know I came late.
How you doing, Fred?
I know I came late, I'm sorry.
All right, at this time, the council has authorized the public comment period. If you wish to address the council, you must step forward, state your name and address for the record, and you will have 2 minutes to address the council on any matters you wish. At the end of your comment, the council may reply or choose to reply at a later date if they so choose.
Hang on, Mr. Huban, somebody, the board this time.
How you doing? My name's Lionel.
Trying out his
I live on 4th Ave, Watervliet. What else you know about
Last
me?
name?
Last name.
Good draw. I'm gonna get some shit for this, I know that. I'm gonna get some heat from you guys.
What was the address? Sorry.
2105 4th Ave. I'd like to address, first you, Pat Facility. You're the first Democrat I ever voted for, and I hope you don't make me regret it. I'd like to talk to you. You said something about the police having overtime. I was just curious why they have overtime. But do you not have enough police officers? Because I see them basically doing nothing. You know, when you see somebody doing something against the law, they should stop them. Your officers do not do that. They drive right by. Guy urinating on my neighbor's garage on 21st Street, cop drives right by. Doesn't say nothing to him. Got people parking on the sidewalk, cops drive by, don't say nothing to them. Blocking the road where people have to back up to 21st Street and go whatever way they gotta go to go the way they were gonna go because that company has the road blocked off. I don't understand why nothing's being done about that. Second, if you're gonna make laws and rules for people, then everybody should abide by them. I just took my dog for a walk around the city, and I saw hundreds and hundreds of garbage cans with no tops on them, with garbage overflowing onto the ground. I don't see anything being done about that, but yet I got written up because I didn't know about the law, and I had one garbage can out of 4 that didn't have a top on it. I get written up for that though. So if you're gonna make laws and rules for individuals, you should make it for everybody, not just who you pick and choose, family, friends and relatives of people in council or whatever. You should make the rules for everybody, not just for the ones that you want to pick and prey on, I guess.
Thank you, Mr. Goodman.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Thanks.
Not too, don't I know that.
Paul Huban, 1500 12th Avenue, Watervliet, New York. I'd like to start by making the evening a disaster with my complaints. First of all, last Tuesday, I filed a FOIA with the city. 5 days plus have passed. I do not have the information. I will be filing a claim with the state of New York. Second, we talked about potholes for the last 3 months. On 2nd Avenue alone, there's 2 or 3 potholes. Still hasn't been addressed. Boulevards, we talked about the boulevards. I guess we might as well forget about them now. Winter's on its way. The church, I think Mr. Patricelli, Councilman Patricelli brought it up. It wasn't addressed at the last meeting, and I was curious as to what the status was, and the general manager clarified that. Also, the last thing, National Grid. They're digging all over the city, mainly across 19th Street at 4th Avenue. They excavated, put the concrete in and the blacktop, and there's a bump there. Now, you don't have to be RPI graduate to bring a 2x4 and set it there and see if the blacktop is even on both sides. Does anyone ever check these things? You got this situation throughout the city with National Grid. We complained about that all summer, about a staging area when these people come in. They got gravel all over the place, equipment all over the place. No one says nothing. You know, I'm getting sick of even complaining, you know? You take the heart out of people. Thank you.
Who wants this back?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
What's your name and address for the record, sir?
Yes, my name is Andres Vera.
Address.
address 700 19th Street.
Andres, so you know that the resolution was approved tonight for a sign?
No.
Yeah.
So then.
You can still talk.
You can still, I didn't know how to let you know that, but it has been approved.
Thank you very much.
That was easy. Thank you. And Mr. Early, that's the same?
Well, I want to add something.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm Joe Early, lived here for 82 years, almost, and...
Just give your address.
Need your address, please? Your address?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 1327 4th Avenue, Watervliet. My father was general manager at one time, and I have other relatives who were city officials in Watervliet.
I think this is rotating.
Early drive.
And I'm speaking in support of Harris Taylor's on 19th Street. I've done business with them for about 40 years, and they're personal friends of mine. And I want to endorse the concept of limited parking, 30-minute parking signs, on one side, that's right in front of the shop itself. It's very hard parking there. Sometimes I've had to park 2 blocks away, and they have clientele who have, going back 40 years, getting elderly and disabled, and it's a hardship for them to get into the tailor shop. And it's not a hardship for people parking there because it's an in and out business. It's not like they're going to be there for 2 or 3 hours to drop up the clothes and you're out of there. So it's the only business of this kind. Watervliet, there's no other tailor shop, so we don't want to lose it. And this parking sign is critical for their survival. So I just want to say that I'd like the council consider passing a resolution.
We did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Once, twice, 9 is not, all right. Close the public comment period?
I do, but
Oh, yeah, Doug. Come on.
Entertain a motion.
Come on, let us know.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Scott called roll.
Mayor Manning.
In favor.
Councilman Petroselli.
In favor?
Councilman McGrath.
Meeting is adjourned.